Well, all right, everybody. Welcome to the Alabama Gang 100 Original Rebels Classic 87 Series. And we are at Talladega tonight. Really excited to get this one going. I think this is going to put on a great show. I'm your host, Eddie Smith, and I've got a good friend, Patrick Drabick, in-house tonight. Pat, how's it going tonight?
Man, I tell you, it's been a lot of fun just coming off that Legend Series there only about 15 minutes ago. A lot of fun watching those cars. So you talk about two opposite ends of things. I go from the 34 Coupes to the 87s. So I go from cars that are going about 100 miles an hour to these cars are going to go 220 miles an hour. So it's going to be a lot of fun here this evening.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I'm glad that you're here because you are the most experienced, at least in this series at a Superspeedway, because you won Daytona. You won the first race of the year in this series.
I love these 87s. There's just something about I enjoy driving a car. And I know we've talked about it a few different times, Eddie, in some of the different series we run and the tracks that I like. And I like tracks that are drivers' tracks. And no matter where you take this 87 car, you've got to be a driver. And so when they get out here at Talladega, it's a little different than Daytona. Daytona, you're having to lift going into the corners, which is kind of strange at a super speedway. But here at Talladega, they're going to mat the gas, and these unrestricted cars we're going to see 220, 222, 224 in these cars. And it's a lot of fun, and these guys are going to be white-knuckled all night long.
Well, hell yeah, I like the way that sounds. And so you put on a good show at Daytona, so I'm expecting to see these guys put on a good show. It may be a little wild, but you know, one thing about these cars is that it really, you have to respect the car. You get out there in a cup or a truck car from NASCAR, and you really don't have to respect it. It's pretty much matted to the ground. Arrows so powerful, but in these cars, you really have to respect it. And going 225 miles an hour in the draft, uh, it takes a big set of cojones to make it work.
It really does.
So
I think you couldn't have said it better, Eddie. I mean, you're behind the wheel of this car, and this car is shaking and shimmying, and you're going down the back stretch. It doesn't want to stay straight. So you're having to manhandle this thing the entire time. And all the while, you've got every other car sitting around you doing the exact same thing. So it is scary. It is fun. And this is going to be a blast. And I promise you, Eddie, we're going to see some cars try to take off to the moon tonight.
absolutely. They're going to try to find some other planets for sure. As we get ready to grid, we got front row starting it off with Jonah Colbert, Steve Loving, two JC Motorsports entries tonight, starting on the front row, having a great showing. Todd Schott, Kyle Roberts bringing up second row. Brandon Wallace, who's been a surprise. I mean, he's normally pretty quick in other series, but he actually has really spread his wings and shown how good he can be in a car in these. So he's starting fifth. Michael Morrison starting sixth. Brandon Pollock, Zach Wilson starting sixth or seventh and eighth. Matt Clement, Ray Page rounding out your top 10. Moving into 11th, we got a newcomer, Brighton Danner. I'm not really sure who that is, but we're excited to have them as well.
Yeah, Brighton Danner was new to the Legends series. He just got done running Legends and all that stuff, and I'll finish out the running order here for this evening. But starting 12th is William Bulldozer Griffith, and the memes they've made about him are just been absolutely priceless. Tyler Rice back there in 13th position. Jason Lottridge in that 48 machine in 14th. Charlie Gates in 15th. Zach Long's there back in 16th. And there's a jet sighting here tonight back in 17th.
We've already got an accident, Pat. Oh, my goodness.
And they're wrecking everywhere for some crazy reason at the back. I mean, lo and behold, Eddie, I stopped by for a little guest appearance on the Eddie Smith 87 show. Yeah, we've got chaos already.
You're like a tornado, man. You came through Alabama and you just blew them all away. So, but I think you said their name, so it must have been a broadcaster curse. So,
it must have been.
Well, we're
that's on me, drivers.
Well, I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. I got a little graphic here I'm gonna throw up here, and I'll talk about Pat, before we get going as we get the one to green. But we are at DEGA, Talladega Superspeedway, 2.66 mile tri-oval, 33-degree banking in the turns. Track record, of course, Bill Elliott, 212 miles an hour, and I think we'll get pretty damn close tonight. Of course, your most wins is Dale Earnhardt with 10. Definitely just unbeatable at this track. So as the pace car comes around, Pat, what's the secret? What's going to be real quick? What's the secret for these guys to be able to make it to the end, but also get this victory like you did earlier in the season?
To not be too aggressive here. I mean, there's a lot of racing here tonight, 40 laps, and stay in line, get some laps logged in, really figure how that car is going to work in traffic and work in the draft, and then start to make your moves later in the race. But if we start seeing these boys get 3 wide and really start jockeying around for positions, I'm telling you, Eddie, the cautions are going to start flying.
Well, as we make it through the trial, and have to remind you, just like all the other broadcasts do at Talladega, the start-finish line is not in the trial, it's at the end of the trial. And so here we are, green flags in the air. Jonah Colbert, Steve Loving bringing us to the green flag, neck and neck, completely side by side as they get ready to go into turn 1. Nice little 3-way battle back here. Looks like between, I can't even see who that is. Brighton Danner.
Oh. And I tell you, they didn't listen to anything we had said, Eddie. As they go 3 wide to start this thing off, we've got cars scrambling all the way down the backstretch here. Looks like everybody keeps the car pointed straight, but hopefully these guys are going to be able to keep up with the lead draft. Some of them have really fallen back right now.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Morrison was involved. William Griffith also involved. Something weird. I don't know if damage is off because it looks like I don't know if I have a glitch or something, but they all had right front damage, and all of a sudden their damage is fixed. So I don't know if you could confirm that for me, but we're gonna go. We're going to go back up front. Maybe a good call. I don't know. But Steve Loving making a move on Jonah Colbert for the lead as it's getting hot up here up front.
Yeah, as these cars continue. Oh, and we get a car that is loose down there in the corner. Still trying to get that car under control.
Yeah, Brighton Danner. Oh, and he comes back up into the field and just clobbers. We're under caution. There's a tire rolling down the back stretch.
As these 87s are utilizing a little bit more of the newer damage models, so you're going to see some pretty realistic damage here tonight. But you're also going to see, and that's a great example of it right there, these cars are not easy to control. You get behind the wheel of an Xfinity car, and a bumper comes flying off coming down the backstretch here. You get behind the wheel of an Xfinity car, a truck car, a cup car, and you get in the draft, and really, you just got to kind of hold that wheel steady and not make a whole lot of movement. But these 87s, you've got to drive them at all points and times. And if you're just rolling through the corner with the gas matted, you're probably going to run into some issues like we saw there.
Yeah, you're just not able to really make a whole lot of quick moves. Like, so somebody gets loose in front of you and you're trying to check up. There's really not a quick way of doing that. You can't jump to the left, can't jump to the right. You can't get on the brakes. I think they've got like a paper plate as a brake rotor. And so you can't slow them down. They're already going 200 miles an hour. So you're basically just setting a car on a Hot Wheel track and just letting it go here. And it's really hard to get it back going. So we're under our first caution after that. And it looks like damage on my end is definitely showing up now, as we've got quite a few guys that were damaged in that. But they'll have a fast repair, so they'll be able to come down and get that fixed. A couple guys, looks like... unfortunately, it looks like Brighton Danner had to come in and tow, so end of the day for him pretty quick. But everybody else seems to have been able to get their damage fixed, get back out there. Josh Oswalt, Michael Morrison, he is getting his car serviced right now. But up front, Steve Loving was able to get the lead. I've seen, Pat, a Talladega race here, and I talked to a few guys who have won these. And, some guys are going to be lifting. And at Daytona, I think that was something you really needed to do. But what I've heard is that at Talladega, if you've got enough guts, you can throw this car down in that corner and make up a lot of speed. So I think we're going to see a lot of separation between the drivers. I think there'll be a small pack of 4 or 5 that kind of pull away as they try to decide, how brave am I going to be, as some guys are probably going to be trying to save tires and just take care of the car.
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it right there. If you've got the guts to do it. And that's what these 87 cars are all about. If you've got the guts to actually throw it down into the corner and mat that gas and close your eyes just a little bit and hope that it maintains traction, you can make up a lot of speed here by throwing this car down into the corners. I can tell you from my previous experience, it's a little bit of a breathing that throttle as you're getting down into the corner to really let this car settle into place. Like you were talking about earlier in the broadcast, some of the other cars that we're used to, they make a lot of their own downforce. These 87s, I don't think they spell downforce. They have no idea. They're just big, heavy, lumbering machines. So you've really got to be good with your steering, and you really, really got to be good with your throttle.
Well, I saw JC Motorsports out in the garage earlier. They didn't see me standing over there. I was peeking around the corner, but I saw them taking a hammer to that spoiler and just knocking that bitch down. And so far, it looks like it's working out pretty good as they have kind of controlled this race from the start. Only 3 laps, but they were kind of going back and forth. But I tell you what, Todd Schott, Zach Wilson, Brandon Pollock, those guys are always up front in these races. So it doesn't surprise me one bit to see them up here. Todd Schott's had some just bad luck this season with getting in a couple incidents early on, but that beautiful Miller High Life car number was 00 today.
Mm-hmm. Good
Um,
looking car.
yeah, fantastic looking car. So he's got that some gun up front, and he's ready to show it off. So got two Miller cars up front. But
Yeah,
that's
that's one of my favorite parts about these 87s. I mean,
mm,
they're just cool looking. And you could do a lot with the paint, and you could do a lot with the throwback stuff. And you get guys out here in these Miller High Life cars, and you forgot to mention there, Eddie. That is the champagne of beers.
right.
We've all enjoyed a Miller High Life from time to time.
Well,
And
look, you're not talking
Matt
no.
haven't done it
I'm
again.
yeah, no beer snob here, brother. I'll drink PBR. I don't care what you put in front of me. If it's amber and it's fizzy, man, I'll drink it. So, um,
Yep.
but you're absolutely right about the cars. I love it. Some guys have decided to go a little bit more modern.
Hmm.
Jason Lottridge with a little bit more modern scheme. There's a couple guys who do that. Griff has got his own deal going on there with the Toys
Yep.
R Us car. So,
Hmm.
but then you got the guys who go back and do the throwbacks and those are everything. All of them look great. It's just something about these bodies. Of course, I'm a huge fan of a Monte Carlo. Um, just a lot of room to put all kinds of decals, logos, all kinds of stuff, and I don't know. That's why I love broadcasting these. Is just because of the way the cars look, how they look going in the corner, yawing them, that back end out, and man, it's just fun. So
Oh yeah, it is a great time, and I've had probably some of the most fun that I've had doing iRacing in these 87 cars and all the different tracks. From doing things here at like Talladega Superspeedway, which is a blast to be able to drive this car that fast, to some of the short tracks. Again, it is a driver's car through and through, and I don't know. There is definitely something when you get behind the wheel of one of these cars and you get that rumble in the seat and you got that steering wheel vibrating in your hands, I don't know. For me, it gets the juices flowing for sure.
well, it's like a trucker hat ascends out of heaven and drops down on your head. Some aviator glasses seem to a hand comes out of a frame and puts them on your head, and a mustache just drops down, and that's just the way you feel as you get in the behind the wheel of these cars. So. Uh, I love the hell of them. I ran 4 official. I don't run official racing. I ran 4 official races at Hickory today and just had a ball. So, um, so much fun. So, anyway, we'll quit drooling over the cars. We'll get some racing as they're coming through the travel. Steve Loving looks like he's already gassed it up, and he is getting a jump. Looks like some teammate deal going on there. Is Jonah Colbert able to slide back behind him?
Yeah, absolutely, right there. Get those guys in line, and again, we're kind of seeing the field of space out here just a little bit. So hopefully, be able to get a few laps under green here and see and really start to see the closing speed that these cars are going to be able to generate as they work their way up through the draft here. But we've got a long. Oh my
Wow.
goodness! And I don't know if there was a hole there or not, but he made one for sure in that 51 car. Zach Wilson said, "I'm coming. Y'all get out the way."
Absolutely, yeah. His wheelbase a little bit shorter now after that. But he's looking to. He's got a run going on, and he's just looking like he's getting a little bit racy up there. But
Yeah.
yeah, as we come to lap 6, coming to lap 7, we've kind of fanned out a little bit as these guys are starting to try to just take your time. You've got a nice little 5-car breakaway up here, but you got some guys towards the back that are just trying to get single file and just get a feel for the car. As you see, um, Jonah Colbert trying to hold off Zach Wilson, who Zach Wilson's all over the back end. Not sure how comfortable I am with pushing. I'm not sure you can actually get to the bumper, but hopefully they'll save that to the last lap. Oh, Steve Loving is getting loose, and oh no, it gets into Todd Schott, who gets into Kyle Roberts, and
around they
oh
go.
my goodness, oh my goodness, poor Todd Schott, damn it. Oh, and he's still getting hit. There goes his wheel.
Yeah, and it's so tough here. These cars are going so fast, and somebody gets turned around up front, and a lot of guys in the back. I mean, you talked about it earlier. I think they do have paper plates for brake rotors here. It is just impossible to get these cars slowed up. So as they pile in here a little bit, but Todd Schott's got that Miller car moving forward, so doesn't have to tow or any of those types of things, but definitely going to have to bring that car down pit road and get her fixed up.
Yeah, it looks like Steve Loving. I mean, we don't have to go back and watch a replay. Hell, we were sitting there watching it, and looks like Steve Loving gets up on the high side and just as guys are going low, and that car just gets out from under him, and just wasn't able to save it. That's one thing I found in these cars is it's really, really hard to save it once you get sideways. Of course, we can think back a few weeks to Darlington. Garrett Kinder was able to save a car. He was about 90 degrees, but he also wasn't going over 210 miles an hour into a 33-degree bank corner. So I give Steve Loving a little benefit of the doubt there. It's really hard to hold on to that, especially how fast they're going. So he gets a little bit sideways and was able to collect it up a little bit, but unfortunately for Todd Schott and a couple others, Charlie Gates Jr., they're gonna have to get some damage fixed. Well,
yeah, and one of the big things, I mean, you talk about being able to save these cars, and they're a handful to be able to save them because there's literally nothing to help you out besides the throttle pedal and the steering wheel. When that car goes sideways, a Cup car, Xfinity car goes sideways, you've got all kinds of downforce and roof flaps and everything else trying to keep that car planted to the ground. This car goes sideways, it just wants to get airborne. It gets lighter and lighter. So it is incredibly difficult to save these cars because the only thing you got are your two hands and that right foot.
that's right, and the good Lord. Um,
I apologize, and the good Lord above.
Well, anyway, we are under our second caution. That was a pretty good race in there. Hopefully, they've started to get a feel for it. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a commercial break, Pat, and let's kind of calm down a little bit and get ready to get back going back green. Let's go. Let's take a quick commercial break.
Join the thousands who enjoy Stock Car Racing Magazine. You get brilliant action color photography, columns and stories by drivers who win, and the men who set up the winning cars. Technical articles that explain in detail the workings of winning suspensions, components, and engines. Stories about the men behind the wheel, the drama, the excitement of stock car racing.
Call 1-800-441-3636 for a year of Stock Car Racing Magazine. Less than $15. Have Visa or MasterCard ready. 1-800-441-3636. Stock Car Racing Magazine.
Elvis, then the Beatles. Now it's MTV. Every minute, MTV spreads corruption throughout this great nation.
Money for nothing and your chicks for free.
It tempts our children to party, party, party. MTV is filthy rock and roll.
MTV. Some people just don't get it.
Well, all right, we're back from the commercial, Pat. Had a little MTV commercial and a Stock Car Racing Magazine commercial. Just throwing it back in these broadcasts. We like to just kind of make you feel like you're back in 1987, and so we give you a couple commercials to kind of put you in that feeling. Where it looks like we're getting ready to come back to the one to go, but but pretty cool to see that. I was born in '87, Pat, so I don't really remember all that. So that's why we brought you in tonight to kind of tell us what was it like in 1987 watching NASCAR, and maybe you could give us a little bit of insight on that.
Yeah, I see where we're going here. Well, as I've said many times, well, maybe not many a times, you and my Corvette have something in common, both made in 1987. So that's kind of cool. We have that connection right there. But you talk about MTV and things like that, and it always does. It kind of throws me back a little bit as well. Not that MTV plays music or any of those things anymore nowadays, but back in the day when you could turn on MTV and actually watch a music video. But to tell you the truth, Eddie, I really didn't get into NASCAR until probably about 1994. And I was already in the Navy, and I had a good buddy of mine that was from North Carolina, and he was into NASCAR, and I started watching it and became a huge Jeff Gordon fan. He was, Jeff Gordon was raised here in Indiana and learned to race here in Indiana, even though he was born in California. We forgave him for that. And that's really when I got into NASCAR. And so, again, as we watch these 87s and watch the throwback and, some of the cool things that you're doing with the broadcast and some of those commercials, I mean, I just think it's way too cool.
It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed the hell out of it. Watching these guys, the one thing about these cars that we really haven't touched on is just how, we've kind of talked about the difficulty, but it takes a lot of practice. It's a major discipline change going from a cup car, any oval car. These are a lot like late model cars and super lates and stuff. I think a lot of guys who are really good at that, Josh Oswald, Jason Warren, those folks really shine in these cars. But it takes a lot of learning. So this season has just been a lot of learning for guys, and so it's fun. I'll be excited once these guys get it figured out to where they can get some long green flag racing in. I think this series is going to be something that people will want to be a part of. So, but
yeah, I mean, if you enjoy racing, you gotta get behind the wheel of one of these 87s. You'll fall in love and have a blast with them. But yeah, we're getting ready to come back here to the green, and Jonah Colbert wasting no time. Taking off here, Zach Wilson's going to fall in right behind him. As Brandon Pollock in that number one falls into third place. And again, I've been kind of surprised to see this, Eddie. The field kind of spreads out on these restarts.
Yeah, I think that it takes a while to get these things going. You don't have a huge draft. You really need to get the car wound up. It doesn't have a big suck like that big spoiler does in the cup cars. And then guys are just, I think, a little bit nervous about getting close to people, trying to just get the thing wound up. And so that's kind of what we see here is we've got kind of a 3-4-5 car breakaway. William Griffith, who was involved in one of that first accident, he's up there. So it's really cool. It does remind me of the old days, where you go back. I love watching old broadcasts. I may not have been around then and watching NASCAR, but I've watched probably at this point hundreds of broadcasts, and a lot of the races are like this, where it's a lot of how good's the car handling. Of course, these are fixed setups, so they obviously all handle the same, but the driver skill and things as far as that goes really change as we looks like we've got somebody getting a little sideways. Yeah, looks like Brighton Danner's still having trouble with that car. He's missing the whole front end. But anyway,
that's not going to play out well.
Yeah, you're gonna need that front end. Not as huge a deal as normal, but you got to have something on there. How you gonna bump somebody without the front bumper?
Very, very true. I think we're going to see it all night long, Eddie. We're going to see the tail end of these cars kind of wag out in the wind a little bit. My goodness, as the 51 gets into the back of the 31 there, kind of shakes him up a little bit to get underneath him. So now Jonah Colbert's going to be out on that outside, but we still see these cars fan out 3 and 4 wide as they come off turn 2.
Yeah, for sure. The battle is up front. There's a lot of just aggressive driving. And then everybody just kind of hanging out in the back here, just following, just watching, see what these guys are doing as they're 3 wide. And I know a lot of guys aren't comfortable Oh my goodness, and that's so close as Jonah Colbert gets right to the door of Griff, but they hang on to it, and they are still 3 wide as they go through the trial. Well, Griff decides to get back in line a little bit, and boy, I sure do love to see these cars slide as they're coming out of that trial. Well, the back end's coming out. Man, these guys are hanging it out. Man, these things are so much fun to watch here.
Yeah, I mean, that trial was probably one of the trickiest spots here at Talladega in these 87s. That's where this car gets extremely light, especially if you got somebody right on your trunk lid. That's where you got to kind of breathe it a little bit. You got to work the throttle a little bit so she doesn't snap around on you. And I can tell you from a couple seasons ago, pushing Jamie to what I thought was going to be a win, my teammate there at Go Locker Racing, and we come through that trial, and I was just giving it all I could to get him to the win. And the back end of that car comes loose, and we don't come home with the win. So you're going to watch these guys come through the trial time and time again, and it's going to get real dicey.
Yeah, we're on board right now with William Griffith as we try to get an idea of what these guys are dealing with. And you can hear the what you talked about, Pat, the feathering of the throttle, getting into the corner. He's running up there wide open, but as he goes down the corner, he's definitely lifting. And I'll shut up for just a second as we go in the corner. And you hear him just lift just a little bit. The RPMs go down just a tad as he has to make it into that corner. He doesn't want to fly off into the stands, so he has to lift just a little bit. But he's working with Jonah right now as they work 3 wide, but now trying to work together and get out to the front. Man, it's such a cool little deal. I love this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as much as I enjoy getting out there and calling some of these short tracks and series like the Legend Series and Street Stocks and Super Late Models, there is definitely something about these 87s. I mean, the sound of them, the feel of them, the look of them, just watching these drivers battle these cars all night long. None of these drivers are sitting behind the wheel of this car right now just out for a Sunday drive. They are all white-knuckled, trying to keep this car underneath them, trying to figure out what the distance to the car in front of them needs to look like, and a little bit of praying every lap. Right there in the trial.
Steve Loving, gets a little bit loose, but he's able to hang on to it. What an incredible job, man. That's incredible to be able to hang on to that car and not lose it. You see, I think it's who is that? The number 1 car, Brandon Pollock, gets on his back bumper. Man, the air just scooted out from under his car. But Steve was able to hang on to it. Man, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's not the only time we're going to see that in the tri-oval tonight.
Well, tell me back when as we kind of just I want to give people watching now. I don't even really know what's your strategy. A lot of times people, in the trucks you can hang at the back and really take your time as you're able to get big runs and make them really quick. In 2 laps, 1 or 2 laps, in the trucks you can make it to the front. Where in the Cup car, you are pretty much stuck, and you have to hope that you maneuver your way, be at the front because you just can't make those type of moves. In this car, what is it like trying to? Okay, I'm running in 10th. I need to get to the front. How do you?
Zach Wilson
Oh my goodness!
All kinds of loose.
Wow! Oh my goodness!
And everybody's dodging him.
Yeah, he kept it out of the wall.
Stay under green.
Yeah, Trevor Burge gets into the wall. Oh, no, Eric Burkhalter. He's able to keep it going. Well, anyway, that's not how you get to the front, is it, Pat? How do we get these cars up front? If you're running 10th, if you're Todd Schott or somebody back here that's kind of behind this pack, how do you get up front?
My strategy a lot of time coming into the plate track with these 87s is really just to maintain my position. Now, if I'm running 5th, that's where I'm going to run. If I'm running, up front, that's where I want to stay. But just to maintain that position and not try to make any real aggressive moves. As we've seen a couple different times, Zach Wilson and a couple of these other guys, they go to try to make some aggressive moves, especially down in the corners, and this car is going to come out from underneath you. So my strategy has always been to just kind of take care of it, get around some guys that I actually trust, and log some laps. Now, it doesn't work all the time as we continue to see guys try to battle up front and get up front. But these cars will, unlike a Cup car, and you said it perfectly, Eddie, in a Cup car, you just kind of get stuck. And unless you've got a teammate working with you or a couple teammates working with you, you're not going to be able to make a whole lot of moves. In these 87s, you can make some moves. But you got to time it right. And again, going back to what you said earlier in the broadcast, you got to have the guts to do it. Because you're going to have the guts to hold that pedal to the floor, heading into the corner or coming through the tri-oval, and hope that car sticks underneath you.
Yeah, it seems like this just trying to keep the momentum up in these cars is what's so difficult because you have to lift and we got somebody in the wall. Having a hard time seeing who that is. The number 41, Ray Page, just gets up and clips the wall a little bit, but everybody's able to get by. As we got a battle for the lead, which is amazing. But the weird thing is it's almost like as Griff tries to go to the outside of Zach Wilson, he kind of blocks the run there, so Griff has to. My goodness, Zach Wilson!
Zach Wilson is
oh no!
Up into the outside wall he goes.
Oh, and he spins out and he hits Todd's shot. Come on. Stay off my boy now.
Todd's shot is not having a good night tonight,
just
folks.
cannot get any luck. My goodness. Well,
doesn't look like a whole lot of damage to the Todd shot machine there. He's got some right front damage for sure. He should be able to bring that car down pit road. They'll take the hammers to it, and that 00 will be just fine.
Yeah, Zach Wilson, I think he still for sure has his faster pair, so he'll be able to get up there. And he'll get to practice some of those things we were just talking about. How do I get from the back to the front? He obviously has the speed, so he's going to have to figure out how to make it work now.
Again, we continue to see some of these drivers push these cars past their boundaries. And they get into the corners there a little bit. And really, it is so tough to do when you're behind the wheel of one of these cars. Nobody wants to lift. Nobody wants to get out of the gas. You know you're going to lose that momentum. But I tell you, if you stay in the gas, you're going to end up like a couple of these guys have. And this car is going to step out from underneath you. And but Zach Wilson should be able to get that car fixed up. But I tell you, that was probably one scary ride for him.
Yeah, he almost caught it 2 or 3 times, but then just lost it. But yeah, it makes me think the way these cars kind of race. It makes me think of the 2000 race. I know they had plates on at the time, but when Dale Earnhardt at Talladega went from 18th to 1st in less than 4 laps, just using that momentum, never lifting, able to take advantage of guys who were having to lift and using that momentum and carrying it through the field. I think that's kind of what you have to do here. You got to have to just. As we see guys heading down pit road, Jonah Colbert's going to go down pit road, and looks like everybody else is going to follow him.
Yeah, this is looking like from some of the stuff that I'm looking at right now, Eddie, they were still going to be a couple laps short on fuel. So might as well come down, get a fresh set of tires on it, tank this thing up. As we've seen, these cars can be an absolute handful here. So I would imagine that most guys will take tires, but we may see somebody gamble here. We'll have to continue to watch.
Well, I think if they gamble on that, they're going to lose. Because I was in the race at Daytona and I saw the difference in tires. Even though Daytona is a little bit more technical and tight than DEGA, I still think in these cars you better get 4 tires or you're going to be left in the dust, or at least you're going to be behind the 8 ball where the guys with brand new tires are going to be able to make moves you can't. It's such a weird thing to hear is taking tires at Talladega, but I think you just got to.
Yeah, especially in these 87s. And then I got a question about JC Motorsports here, Eddie.
All right.
Are y'all running the Thunder Chickens?
The Thunder Chickens?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Oh no, he's running an Oldsmobile. If you'll look at the front of it, he's got it templated up.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's an Oldsmobile. I don't know what you're talking about. Well,
from Eddie Smith saying he loves the Monte Carlos to his team running the Thunder Chickens. I'm sorry, the Oldsmobiles.
Yeah. Well, Steve Loving definitely needs to find the Lord, and because he's definitely running a Thunderbird, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. We don't have any manufacturer alliance. They don't pay us any money, so I'll drive whatever the hell I want to drive. In the Daytona race, I was actually driving a Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warrior scheme painted up as Illumina on the Ford Thunderbird. So, yeah, it sounds sacrilegious, but it's a good-looking car. When Jonah Colbert puts together a scheme, you can't even tell. So he did a great job on that one.
It doesn't sound sacrilegious. it is.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Pat, you know already if I get back on that track, the car that I'm currently driving is a Tide Ride number 17,
There we go.
Monte Carlo.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but you see, if you look up here at Josh Oswalt in the 17 car
Mhm.
in this field, he's got Pontiac written on the front of it. So a lot of guys taking some liberties with these templates and really kind of customizing what they're doing. As he's got a really nice paint scheme, but
Yeah. Well, again, some of these cars really lend themselves to be able to do a lot of things with them, and I will wholeheartedly agree with you, Eddie. Jonah Colbert can do some amazing things when it comes to painting different cars, and I've seen him do some paint schemes on many different cars, and very, very sharp. As a matter of fact, he did a couple. Well, he did one of my teammates' paint schemes this year, Ryan Pendleton in the number 23 Veterans 48 car, and I mean, turned out beautiful.
yeah, Jonah was there was a big website for anybody who remembers NASCAR Heat back in the day, long time ago. There used to be a website called High Compression that did all the car sets every year. They would come out with car sets you could download for that particular season with sponsors and stuff. And he actually worked on that team and made some incredible designs and worked on a lot of cars. So he's been doing it for such a long time that he has perfected it for sure. I don't even have to. If I say, "Hey, I need a paint scheme," I don't even really have to like ask him or say anything. He just sends me something, and I'm going, "Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted." Yeah, hell yeah, I'll drive that. So he does some fantastic schemes, and he's got a lot of creativity too. He's driving that beautiful Crown. I think me and him have sort of the same likes in cars. I like simple race schemes. I don't like crazy,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't want
Mhm.
swirlies and tie dyes and stuff. I want just simple race lines. Give me something that looks like something that would have been on the racetrack, and that's what I want. So,
So what you're saying is you would not drive the number 71 Tampax car?
no.
Okay, just verifying. That's all. Speaking of paint schemes,
Yeah, I got Eric Burkhalter pulled up right here. It's still a good-looking paint scheme, I have to say. They all look good.
clean lines,
It's
and all that.
well,
As we're
it's hard to make any scheme look bad on these cars. But as we getting ready to go back green, the pace car is off on the pit road. We got a couple guys who stayed out: Tyler Rice, William Griffith, staying out on old tires. We're gonna see who was right about the tires. If which I think we both agreed, but we'll see. We'll see how big a deal these tires are gonna make as green flag is out. William Griffith gets a nice start there. Tyler Rice lagging a little bit behind as he's got Steve Loving all over the back end. Look who's up there in third place fighting for second. That's Brandon Wallace in that 99 Chevy Monte Carlo Goodwrench car as he is hunting down Griff right now.
yeah, a couple of these guys though, William Griffith and Tyler Rice. I mean, they're banking on a couple more cautions coming out because, by my calculations and everything that I'm looking at,
We got
they
four
cannot
wide.
make.
Look at Zach Wilson.
Oh
Oh my
my
goodness. I'm sorry, Pat, but that was
goodness!
incredible. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. I'm about to go back and look at the damn replay on that one. That was unbelievable. Zach Wilson just hanging.
Wow.
Good grief. Goes 4 wide on those guys and takes the lead like a man.
Like a man possessed.
Like
I
a
mean,
man. Don't look now. Steve Loving going up to the high side. He gets a run. As I want to go back and watch that from his perspective, but man, the racing up here is just unbelievable. It's hard to turn away. As Brandon Wallace gets a little bit loose, but man, good grief.
I tell you, the intensity has definitely picked up. We got about 14 laps left here to go. And, as we see Griff get up into the outside wall there in that Toys R Us machine. Oh, my goodness. And there are cars getting loose everywhere right now as we see Steve Loving also get loose there in that number 27 machine. So I think it's all gas, no brake from this point forward, Eddie.
That's right. Well, let's real quick. I just kind of want to go. I'm going to go back and look at that. So I'm gonna zoom right back real quick, and we'll go on board with. Well, we've actually went a little bit too far. Try to get the. kind of watch as Zach Wilson's able to go 4 wide there and see how he was able to do it real quick. Yeah, it looks like they just had to check up a little bit, and he finds a gap between the Copenhagen car, and William Griffin just sticks his nose in there, man, just takes the lead. Wow, that's incredible. What a move to get up front. Sorry, Pat, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good. We've talked about it all night long. Do you have the guts? Do you have the guts to mat the gas and just move your way up through the field? And Zach Wilson answered that call big time.
Yeah,
As we see another car get into the outside wall.
Yeah, Tyler Rice gets a little bit of, gives that wall a kiss, and you know, I raced the Hickory races I did today. These cars are durable. You know, they're made out of some tough metal, and I had 2.5 minutes of repairs in that race, and I didn't notice it at all. So you could definitely beat and bang. You can get into the wall just a little bit, and it doesn't. As long as you don't get grabbed by that iRacing wall, and get flown up to space. As it looks like we got 3 wide for the lead here. Zach Wilson, Jonah Colbert, William Griffith on those old tires, making us look like a bunch of dummies as he's up there fighting for the lead with those old tires.
Oh, William Griffith gets a little bit loose right there, and now we got the one car down there on the apron as he got a little bit loose, and these guys aren't lifting anymore, Eddie.
No.
They're just going to ride out these. They're going to wave to the fans with the rear end of the car a little bit, and they're just going to keep that gas matted.
Yeah, this is incredible. It's so much fun to watch. They're fanned out all over the places. We still have a battle for the lead. Jonah Colbert, Zach Wilson, and Steve Loving trying to find out, well, hey, where can I fit in there, guys? Can I try to get my nose in there and try to lead some laps? Good grief.
And they are, I mean, we've seen some pretty aggressive moves here up at the front. They continue to change lanes back and forth and back and forth. We'll see somebody get loose on the outside a little bit, drift back, and put the pedal back to the floor, get back up here again as we continue to see 3 and 4 wide racing back through the field here. I mean, this has just been some real exciting racing.
Well, this race is called the Alabama Gang 100, and I tell you what, a member of that is William Griffith, and he is holding strong with those old tires. He has had multiple runs at the lead and just had backed out a couple times, and a couple times went for it. As he's showing a lot of speed, a lot of, like I said, just being able to hang that car out. And he goes to the outside of Jonah Colbert, and 3 wide for the lead again. He's going to have some help from Brandon Pollock, but gets a little bit loose there, has to try to gather it up. Bottom line does prevail there, but William Griffith making a lot of charges to the front, and you know, he's going to be there fighting for it, I believe, at the end of the race.
Well, right now, Eddie, I'm telling you, those couple guys that stayed out, I'm showing them about 1.5 laps short on fuel right now. So they're still banking on a caution to come out as we see another car get into the wall there. So William Griffith and Tyler Rice right now have either got to find a little bit of room back in traffic and try to save about 1.5 laps of fuel here, or I don't know. It's got to be really, really close.
Man, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear any kind of fuel mileage race with the way these guys are racing, but I believe you might be right. So let's go back through the field a little bit. As we see Kyle Roberts gets into the side of Jason Lautry, and they almost saved it, but now, oh my goodness, looks like the Tampax car is a little messed up.
As it looked right there for a minute that Jason Lotridge was going to be able to save that car. He was really driving it, but collects up a few cars here, brings us under caution. So this should take the fuel mileage stuff out of the equation as we still see body panels flying off of cars.
Yeah, Kyle Roberts with a hard lick on the inside wall. Tough hit for him as he did a little bit of drifting through the grass. All right, that's a good car control there, Kyle. He's last night's winner in the Rebel Series, and so he having a little tough night here, taking a trip through the grass. Might still be a couple drinks in after last night. I don't know what you think.
That's a possibility. That was a lot of tough racing last night in the Rebels Truck Series there, but yeah, big congratulations to Kyle Roberts and bringing home the win. But whole different animal here tonight in these 87s, as he's going to have to bring that Crisco machine down pit road and try to get it fixed up. So I guess what we're looking at right here is going to be about, I don't know, Eddie, 4 laps to go when they take the green.
I show 8 to go, and we should be somewhere around 4, 5, 6 laps to go. Not a lot of time. So if you're in the back, if you're some of the guys that are back here, 10th on back, Trevor Burge, Michael Morrison, Eric Burkhalter, of course he's damaged. I don't know if he's got a fast repair, but those guys that were just involved in an accident. But Todd Schott, who's got his car fixed up and looking pretty again. So, yeah, I think a lot of guys have been kind of holding what they got and not really showing their hand. But I think if you're gonna go, now is the time. You got to make those. You can't wait around to the last lap. You're just not gonna have enough time.
No, and if we thought the aggression level was picked up throughout this race, just wait until this next green flag flies. As these boys are going to start jockeying for position and try to set themselves up for a win here tonight in the Alabama Gang 100 from Talladega Superspeedway.
Yes, sir. On Rebel Racing Network, and I'm Eddie Smith. That's Patrick Drabick, and we've had a blast. I feel like it's blown by. Maybe when I'm sitting here talking to myself, it seems like it takes a while, but it seems like it's just gone by so quick, and I hate that because this racing has been awesome. But I tell you what, since the racing's been so good, I would say that's probably an upset for the week. So Pat, let's go to commercial. Let's show off. Let's go ahead and show off the Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
I love it.
The upset of the week is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need. The New York Giants launched their 87 campaign at Soldier Field in Chicago as world champions, and an early block punt recovered for a touchdown put Parcells' Pack up by 7. The euphoria quickly faded when their special teams performance sputtered. The Bears turned an expected close game into a rout. Dennis McKinnon's 94-yard punt return TD led Chicago to a rout. The Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
Well, all right. Well, that was the Pepto-Bismol upset of the week. Congratulations to the Chicago Bears beating the New York Giants they're having a great 1987 season so far. But that's a good win for them. As we get ready, probably to get the one to go this time by, I tell you, the front 5. So right now, Zach Wilson, Steve Loving, Jonah Colbert, Brandon Pollock, and William Griffith have been really the class of the field. They've been the ones that have been able to make moves. I'll be excited to see if there's anybody else out there that's got some cojones to get up here and challenge for the lead. But I tell you what, these top 3 for sure, they've got it going on, and it's going to be tough to beat.
I tell you, Eddie, I mean, these guys are going to have to throw caution to the wind here. Like you said, I mean, who's got the cojones? Who's got the guts to just mat that gas to the floor and work their way up front? And that's what I'm anxious to see. I'm anxious to see some of these guys that might not have been up front, maybe played it a little bit cautious here a little bit, to get up there, just let it all hang out and see where the cards fall. But you're right. I mean, the race has gone by pretty fast here this evening, but you get a couple of race junkies together in an old throwback series, and we're just been having a blast calling the race and watching the racing and just really enjoying these cars for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We have got the one to green, so we're going to come down the big ass backstretch, the Alabama game backstretch, and get ready to go back green. We're going to have 5 to go when we get back going.
You know what, Eddie?
What?
I think that was I think the last time I used that pickup line when I was in Mississippi. I'm like, damn, girl, you got a big ass backstretch.
Hey, I'm telling you, they got them down here, brother. We're rolling. We got cabooses down here. I'm telling you.
I don't want your wife mad at me anymore. So I should probably lay off the Mississippi jokes there.
Well, you're all right. Just don't say nothing about Mississippi State. Look, I'll have to move out if you do that. So Mississippi's fine. She was just joking around. But if you say something about Mississippi State, we're gonna have trouble. So.
All right. I know the line now.
You can talk trash about You can talk trash about Ole Miss. Ole Miss Rebels, you can take them out anytime you want.
Okay.
I know
Fair enough.
Eric Burkhalter won't be happy to hear that, but man, sorry, man, you're outnumbered.
Should be a wild restart here. Again, only a handful of laps left here to go to settle out who's going to win here at Talladega Superspeedway. There's been a lot of great racers up front, as you said. I mean, these guys up front have been the ones up front. So we're going to have to see if anybody back in this pack is going to be able to come up here and challenge a little bit. I'd like to see some of these other guys come up. Maybe Brandon Wallace get up here and kind of mix it up here a little bit. Ray Page. Some of the guys even a little bit further back. Trevor Burge. So we're getting ready to settle this thing out as the green flag is out and Zach Wilson is out to the lead.
Yeah, getting out front's important. Being able to try to make sure that you are the leader, can kind of control the lines. But scary enough, guys are going to be able to get a huge run, just like what Zach did the last restart, where he had that momentum going and was able to run the leaders and take them 4 wide. So he's going to have to be careful. It's not going to be easy to block. It's not going to be able to move that car. You see Jonah Colbert and Steve Loving go to the outside to Zach Wilson, working together. JC Motorsports on the outside trying to get past Zach, and they are able to clear him with quite a bit of a gap there. Brandon Pollock coming in behind Jonah Colbert as Jonah moves up the track. Zach Wilson still fighting back on the inside. He's got some help on the bottom from William Griffith, but as we come to 4 to go, the thing about it is these guys back in about 5th on back, they're going to get some momentum as Brandon Pollock on the outside, making him a move for 2nd place. But as these guys are side by side, sorry, Pat, they're going to get wound up this 6th on back, and they're going to make it a show, I believe.
Yeah, as they continue to battle up. And he squeezes him into the outside wall.
Yep.
William Griffith goes all the way down to the inside. We're going to see if he's able to safely return back to the track as he's still got to lay it. Oh, my goodness, come on. He looks like he's going to be able to get that car woed up and stay out of harm's way as we continue to watch up front here. But
wow, yeah, Jonah Colbert looks like he was just trying to get up in front of Brandon. Brandon's like, no, it's too late. You're too late to do all that. And they just get together, so that's going to hurt both their races. But it's a 2-car battle right here as Steve Loving is leading Zach Wilson. I'll be interested to see if a bigger pack can run these guys down, or if they're going to be able to pull away. I would imagine Ray Page back here in 3rd's got a little sniff of that draft as they're still fighting it out back here.
And the only way they're going to be able to catch up is these guys got to get a little bit single file here and realize if any of those guys in that backpack are going to want to try to battle for this win, they're going to have to work together to catch up to these 2 race leaders here. But I'd imagine that they're going to get side by side here shortly as we're coming up on the last couple laps here.
Yeah, Zach's doing a smart thing. He's really, really smart. I know he's a fast driver. He knows he's got it all. He's got good racecraft, and he knows that, hey, I just need to stay right on Steve's back bumper, try to keep the distance on this pack back here, because that gives me all the advantage coming to the last lap if I can stay right behind and keep that pack at bay. Michael Morrison and Brandon Pollock get together.
Other cars and they're airborne.
Whoa, they blow over. Oh, my goodness. Michael Morrison bounced off his hood a few times. And he lands on all 4.
That is going to bring out the green and white checkered here. And that's one thing we hadn't talked about all night long, Eddie, is these cars will blow over. And we saw 2 cars right there almost in tandem get airborne.
Yeah, we'll go back and look at that. Watching, looks like Michael Morrison just gets into the wall a little bit and comes right across the front bumper of Brandon Pollock, who was running up at the front. And just, what the hell did he? Well, I don't know what in the world was happening there, but he was kind of doing like a little dance, maybe like he was at the skating rink on Saturday night doing some sort of little electric slide across his hood. I'm going to actually go on board with him and just see, make sure he's all right. I like to go on board with these guys and see what their facial expressions are looking like when they're flipping upside down.
It's not a fun experience, I can tell you that.
Well, hell, Michael Morrison didn't even flinch. He had both hands on the wheel and never even blinked, as far as I can tell. So he's not even breaking a sweat. So, but anyway, Yeah, we're coming to a green-white checkered now. I know Zach Wilson probably did not want to see that because I felt like he probably had the race in hand. Steve Loving was just kind of a vehicle. He would have to do a hard block to stop that 51 machine. So that's going to change a lot of things. Some of these guys on these restarts are going to have to, especially right now, are going to have to get up there and be a little aggressive. Not let these guys get too that far ahead.
Yeah.
Try to run them down.
Yeah, and we've seen it all night long. And again, it's kind of been a little strange to me to see how much the field spreads out on these restarts. Some of these guys are definitely going to have to get a little bit more aggressive getting up through the gears if they're going to stay in touch with these leaders here. As we're going to see a couple new names up front. I mean, Brandon Wallace now is going to restart in third place. Ray Page back and forth. Jonah Colbert's in fifth, so still in a pretty good spot there. And then Trevor Burge out there in sixth spot. So we've got a couple of guys that have kind of been running mid-pack to the front of the pack now that are going to be up here in a couple of the key spots like Brandon Wallace and Ray Page. So, I mean, how are these guys going to run and who are they going to go with and who are they going to try to push as Zach Wilson and Steve Loving still try to battle it out to see who's going to win here tonight?
Yeah, in Atlanta, Brandon Wallace, he was man, he was getting with it. He was making some moves, and he was up to a podium position. Just ended up making some contact with another driver, and got spun out. But man, he was really wheeling it. So I know he can do it. He can get up here and fight for this win. And I think anybody in this top 7 for sure have a shot. Kind of an update on somebody, William Griffith. Looks like he did have to pit for fuel, like you said, and it looks like he's a lap down. So looked like he had to go a lap down because of getting fuel, or I'm not real sure why exactly he went all the way a lap down, but he's a lap down now. So unfortunately, it looks like he'll be out of contention. But hell of a run by him on those old tires up there fighting for the lead. So
as we check back in on a few different drivers here. Tyler Rice is one of those other drivers that kind of gambled and stayed out there, but he's back in 9th position. And as we've seen in a lot of these plate races, I mean, you just don't know. You get a couple of leaders up here racing with each other, they get into each other, and the guy back in 7th place is the seas part, and he's able to move on through. So, I mean, this race by no stretch of the imagination has been settled out yet. Man, they just need to throw the green flag again, Eddie, so we can get back to racing because this is going to be exciting.
I'm tired of hearing myself talk about this caution. I want to see it. You know, somebody we hadn't talked about is Matt Clement. He's been involved in an incident or two. Got a little bit of damage on that right rear, but that good-looking Chevy Monte Carlo is still pointing the right direction. That's what's important. Let's look through the field, make sure we've gotten everybody on screen. I like to make sure I get everybody. You know, we gotta see who that is. People are doing some funny paint schemes. I can't tell who some people are. Who's this 19 car?
That'd be Matt Clement.
Well, the 19 I show is way back here.
Well, sometimes it gets a little messed up there. People run their custom paint schemes and things along those lines.
Okay, yeah, it's Trevor Burge. Okay. Number 2, but he's driving the Hooters car, so we've talked about him a little bit, so that's good. Okay. Well, lights are out on the pace car, and we are getting ready to get this show. I think we've got 2 or maybe 3, but I know for sure we got 2 green-white checkered. So, yeah, this won't be the last one if they don't make it all the way around. So
I'm going to keep my eye on that 51 car of Zach Wilson. I mean, he's been driving the wheels off that car, and we saw him there a little bit earlier, send it off into the corner, get loose, get up into the outside wall, and then make I'm going to call it the move of the night, Eddie, when he went 4 wide and sent that 51 to the lead. So when the race is on the line, you know Zach Wilson's going to, you know he's got the guts to get up there and try to make it happen.
Absolutely. Checkers are records, man. That's where we're at now. You know, I'll be interested to see Jonah Colbert, what's he got left? I don't know if he's still got a little bit of that damage. I don't know if it's hurting him, but he's been a front runner. So there's a lot of guys chomping at the bit trying to get back up front. So pace car is off. Steve Loving going to bring us down to the green-white checker. And don't forget, Pat, the start-finish line is not in the middle of the tri-oval. It's at the end of the tri-oval.
Thanks, Eddie.
Don't
I
forget.
appreciate that, man. I almost did. If it wasn't for having you around, I might have. Wow, and for the first time this evening, we're seeing the field kind of stick together there a little bit, as the two front runners there, the 27 and 51, are going to race side by side, and a lot of the guys behind them have stayed locked up. So, going to be a real interesting finish here, as we got a lot of the field grouped together.
Yeah, side by side for the lead, Zach Wilson, Steve Loving. Got Brandon Pollock doing some movement back there, getting him a run. We've got a tight grouping down here on the bottom with Brandon Wallace and Jonah Colbert as they're tight nose to tail. Ray Page on the outside with Zach Wilson trying to push him. Brandon Wallace scoots up the track just a little bit with Zach Wilson trying to hold on to it, but he loses his drafting help as Ray Page gets back a little bit. Jonah Colbert jumping out to the outside of Zach. Going to try to push him to the lead.
This is going to be the white flag this time around, so this lap will settle it here tonight. We still got Steve Loving and Zach Wilson out front battling it out with each other. Jonah Colbert did jump into the outside there, and I don't think he's going to sit there. Looked like he's trying to find a hole to go 3 wide here, as we're still watching cars jockey back and forth. As now we got Brandon Wallace underneath Steve Loving as he's trying to hold him under the yellow line. Brandon
Come
Wallace
on, Brandon, hang on to it. Oh, no! They're sideways. Oh, they're wrecking. Oh, the big one. Oh, my goodness.
Zach Wilson still with the lead. The one car right behind him, Brandon Pollock.
And
48 of Lottridge is going to end up finishing third, but Zach Wilson gets the win here tonight, folks.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know what? Brandon Wallace, he put it out on the line. I know him and Steve won't be happy about that, and those that are caught up into that, but he was doing the best he could to give plenty of room and lay it out on the line. Man, what an incredible race, Pat. My goodness.
I can't fault Brandon Wallace whatsoever. He got a run coming down the back stretch. He stuck his nose underneath there, and Steve Loving tried to keep him pinned down under the yellow line, and Brandon Wallace was like, nope, we're either going to race this thing out or die together. And, well, ended up collecting up a lot of good cars there, but that's the kind of racing that you want to see. That's the kind of, I love it out of Brandon Wallace, and tough break for a couple other cars here this evening, but man, great racing.
Yeah, I'd love to see them bumping and banging, man. They're just able to do that, and just unfortunate that happened. But man, that's what you want to see. You want to see guys fighting for wins, going all out. The poor Tampax car of Eric Burkhalter just gets demolished there. But yeah, congratulations to Zach Wilson. He's burning it down, getting clobbered there at the end. Man, that was fantastic.
That was a lot of great racing here this evening in the Alabama Gang 100 from Talladega Superspeedway. Big shout out to everybody that tunes in on the Rebels Racing Network. Happy to be a part of it here tonight, Eddie. It's always a good time when I get to hang out with you and call a race. We've called a few races together, and obviously we've been on the track a lot together as well. It's always fun racing with you. But, man, appreciate the invite here tonight. Had a blast calling this race with you.
Well, I definitely appreciate you. It was a kind of a last-minute ask, and, man, I appreciate you coming in on a last-second deal. It means a lot. So I think you added a lot to this broadcast. See somebody, Kyle Roberts, going backwards on the track. But I think it added a lot to the broadcast. Have your expertise in these cars and this type of racing. So, man, thanks so much. But let's go ahead and talk to, if you got time, let's talk to some of these finishers, and we'll bring in third place Jason Lottridge, who brings that number 48 machine home third place. Jason, this is Eddie and Pat in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Man, what a wild race, man. It looked like it was so much fun. I'm so jealous that I was up here and not out there. And I think Pat feels the same way. But talk me through that last lap. I mean, you started in the back, but you made your way up to the front and was able to dodge that wreck at the end. Just kind of talk about your race and what it was like there at the end.
Yeah, man, this was a wild race. It was a lot better than I think a lot of people expected. And with these cars, it's not like a typical Talladega or Daytona race. You gotta wheel these bad boys around, and you don't have to worry too much about the draft. If you get behind a little bit, it's okay because the cars in front are going to slow down here and there. But I just started from the back there. I knew I had fresh tires. I had to use my fast repair on the last accident, and just came through the field. It was great. And right that last corner, I kind of just zigged and zagged and was hoping for the best. And I wasn't going to slow down, especially because I wanted to beat Kyle Roberts.
Well, man, I mean, that was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm with Eddie. I wish I was behind the wheel of the car here tonight. Looked like a lot of fun. So, I mean, you talked about the draft there a little bit. Was it a real big deal? Because on some of these restarts, we saw a lot of the field really spread out. We saw, a lead pack get out there and a mid pack. So, how were you working the draft and be able to work that 48 car to the front?
Well, to be honest, there was a lot of cars with damage tonight towards the middle and the back of the pack, and I think we had to all use our fast repairs here and there, and I think that really, truly, spread out the field on those restarts, which kind of helped. But for me, it wasn't really about the draft. It was more of making sure that I don't slide up in the mid corner and I can get off the exit of that corner full throttle. And if you can drift out wide enough without hitting that wall, you're going to have a good run going down the backstretch and through the tri-oval. And really, that's what I tried to do.
Well, that was fantastic, Jason, man. Great run by you. Is anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors, any shout-outs like that?
I just want to thank the Original Rebels Racing League. They put a lot of great races on. I want to thank you guys up in the booth. I mean, you guys do an absolute magnificent job. I know you're sad to not be down here racing, but we're happy to have you up there doing the wonderful broadcast that you are, especially for these 87s.
All right, man. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Well, all right.
That's all you, Eddie.
Huh?
That's all you, man.
No, hey, I stole most of my stuff from y'all, so I got to give y'all a little bit of credit too. I based a lot of things on y'all, so I'm not gonna take all the credit because watching y'all's broadcast, kind of watching how y'all do it and do it so well. If I can get close to what y'all do, I'll be glad. But let's quit high-fiving. Yeah, let's get somebody in here. Let's talk to Brandon Pollitt. Brandon, this is Eddie and Pat in the booth. You got us?
Hey, how's it going?
Brandon, man, that was exciting, man. You were up front, you were in the back, you were spinning, you're hitting the wall, and damn it, didn't you come home in second place, man? Congratulations. You almost had him at the end after that wreck. If you just had one more lap, do you think you'd been able to catch him?
Yeah, I think I would have had something saved for him because I had fresh tires on that last pit that I don't think anybody did but me, so.
Well, man, I mean, we saw a lot throughout this evening. Guys go to the front, come to the back, all those different types of things. How was the draft working for you? I mean, did you see a lot of benefit from it? I mean, how was your car handling as you were coming up through the pack?
It definitely helped me get up there. I was worried for a minute after I got flipped over and didn't think I'd make it back up there, but I mean, the draft was there to help me, so.
Well, a great run, man. It was so much fun to watch y'all. Great finishing second. I know you wanted to win, but you've had a few tough races in the last few weeks. So is it good to finally get sort of a really, really good finish and come off with a podium?
Man, it feels amazing. Honestly, I was kind of worried about this interview. I thought I was gonna make a fucking fun of myself.
Okay, well, no, you didn't, man. You did a great job, man. Well, anybody you want to thank? Any shout-outs, man? Any teammates, anything like that?
Yeah, shout out to any of my teammates that are here. I think I saw Matt Kleeman here. Other than that, yeah.
Me, myself, and I. That's what I like to do too, Brandon.
Oh boy.
Just say me, myself, and I. That's who I want to thank. Congratulations, Brandon, man. Great job coming home second. Well, all right. All right. Well, let's bring in Zach
Well,
Wilson.
hold up.
Okay.
Hold up.
Uh-oh.
Hold up. That was awkward.
Well, I do the best I can to make it as awkward as possible. I was stuttering and all kinds
Come,
of stuff. Look, I
come
haven't.
on, Brandon. You got to come with it when you get up on these podiums. But hey, man,
I wasn't helping
congratulations
him.
to him.
I wasn't helping
Well,
him. I hadn't eaten in 26 hours, so I'm stuttering and I can't think straight. All I'm thinking about is tater tots, brother. Well, let's bring
Ooh.
in Zach Wilson. Zach, this is Eddie and Pat in the booth. You got me?
What's up, guys?
Man, that was awesome, dude. Man, what a great race. And damn it if you didn't put on the biggest show. And, man, I'm going to steal Pat's question. I'm sorry, Pat, but I got to ask him about that
Go ahead.
4 wide for the lead, man. Talk me through that. How did you do it? How did you get through all that to get to the front there on that restart?
Yeah, man, I just had some fresh tires on there. There was a good gap. I had a good run. I was gonna follow Jonah up to the front there. We kind of talked about, maybe tucking in and getting back to the front for being in the back, and I just saw the opportunity arise. I felt like I could control the race more from the front than I could the position I was in. So, what's it gonna hurt to try to drive through there? And it worked out for us.
I mean, that was an amazing move to come up through the pack like you did. But we saw that one time there. I mean, that car really step out from underneath you, get up into the outside wall, and really get that car tore up. You were able to get it fixed up. So, I mean, kind of talk to me a little bit of how that car was handling, and then really take me through that moment where it just kind of stepped away from you.
Yeah, at that point, I had a lot of tire wear. I had been running the bottom a lot and really cranking on the wheel. So my right sides were screaming for help. I got a big push into the corner by Griffith there, and just I had a lot more momentum than what I had expected, and was just trying to stay up off of Jonah on the bottom. We had some good 2 wide racing going on there. So last thing I wanted to do was try to get anyone else caught up in my mistake. So luckily we were able to get back in, and crew was able to put it back together and bring us home a win tonight.
Well, man, congratulations, dude. That was incredible. Man, thank you for showing up every week and putting on a show like you do. It's so much fun to watch. That front 5, man, was just a blast. You got some guys kind of hanging back, wanting to stay around to the end, but you guys just getting up there, and we was unable to look away. I couldn't try any camera angles. We really couldn't. I couldn't talk to Pat. Pat couldn't talk to me. All we could talk about was how racy you guys were up there. So, man, thank y'all for putting on a show, and man, congratulations on the win. You got anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to everyone who throws the lead together. You guys who broadcast this for us. I know tonight was a lot of fun. These cars are a lot of fun to drive. Shout out to my sponsor, TechWorks, for all your IT needs in Western North Carolina. So I appreciate them and everything they do to allow me to be out here and racing like I am. So appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Man, congratulations again.
Yep, thanks.
Well, Pat, man, that was incredible. I want to thank. You still got me? Oh, it's okay. My Discord's like it's crashing. Yeah, if I crash, I'm sorry. But anyway, I want to thank David Jones for kind of shouldering this series. I really do love it. It's been a blast. I'm really glad that they got this going, and he's kind of shouldered the responsibility. So it's a big shout out to him, keeping this going and taking care of it, and all the other admins who do what they do for this series and all the other series. Man, it's incredible to be here. It's a privilege to race here and broadcast here for sure. And man, Pat, it's an honor to have you in the booth with me. I think, like I said, you made it better, and it was a fantastic race and fantastic broadcast. Thanks to you.
Yeah, I don't know about all that stuff, but man, I appreciate the invite and a lot of fun. I think, Eddie, we just need to make this a little bit more regular. A lot of fun, though. I love this 87 series. So, again, congratulations to all the drivers here tonight, man. And the original Rebels for putting this series on. Big shout out to Davey as well for saying, yeah, let's get an 87 series and let's put it together. I've had a lot of fun racing in it, quite obviously, racing back at Daytona and be able to bring home that win, and then being able to come in here tonight and call the broadcast with you. So I'll leave it up to you, man, but what a fun Monday night, and had an absolute blast. Been a privilege, man. Hope to do it again soon with you, Eddie.
All right, well, that was the Alabama Game 100 in the 87 Classic Series on Original Rebels. If you want to be on board, come on. I'm going to bring up the schedule real quick, just kind of talk about what we got coming up. We're at Talladega. We're halfway through. This is the halfway point. as there's plenty of movement still left to do on the point standings. We've got Charlotte next week, which I think will be fun to watch. Pocono, which I'm excited, nervously excited. I don't know how these cars are going to race there, but I want to see these guys go through the tunnel turn in these big tanks and see how they handle that. We go to Dover after that, Michigan, which I think will be a lot of fun, and then we'll end at just maybe the perfect combo for this car, one of them anyway, at Rockingham. So a lot of fun racing. If you're watching and you're not here, Garrett Kinder, get your ass here. Let's get out here and let's race. Let's hang it all out. Don't let Zach Wilson win all the races. Um, get up here and race, and let's have a good time. I want to thank Garrett Kinder, Ryan Pendleton in chat, Miss Ray for watching as well. Big supporter of both me and Goat Locker. So thank her for always being super supportive, and everybody else that was watching tonight. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good night.